Hunters in Siberia come across a red deer stuck in frozen river, fighting for life. This story is about a lonely red deer in Siberia who was busy scavenging for food in the bitter cold when suddenly it fell right into the freezing Bargusian River. Unable to come out, it started screaming for help, naturally attracting all sorts of predators, especially hunters. But to this deer's misfortune or fortune, that's exactly what happened. A group of hunters led by Alexei Balov quickly rushed when they heard the deer's cries for help, only to see it fighting for its life. This can go two ways. Hunters hunt the deer and enjoy a meal, or help the deer and enjoy an act of kindness. The men could see that they were up for a challenge and that getting the deer back on land would prove to be a tough task. But they didn't give up. While one of them began cutting through the ice with a chainsaw, another used a heat torch to melt it. Let it be known that Siberia experiences long, harsh winters, meaning standing out for about 15 minutes with proper gear can give a person all kinds of severe aches and pains.
Before we continue with the rest of the video, we could use your help. Click that like button to help spread the word about watchJojo, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos.
But these hunters didn't care about the consequences of being in the bitter cold. All they wanted was to free the deer fighting for its life. Red deers have thick fur, which helps them keep warm during cold winters. But no amount of thickness could help this deer stuck in the frozen river. While the hunters were busy carving a path in the ice, the deer was slowly losing its battle with life. Then, with the help of rope, the men quickly hauled the deer by an antler and started pulling it towards them with all the strength they could muster. Finally, after nearly 4 hours, they were able to lay the nearly frozen deer on the ground. With hair frozen on its face and barely able to move, the deer was struggling to breathe and desperately needed some warmth. The hunters quickly removed their gloves and started rubbing the deer's body in an attempt to provide it some heat. Not even a campfire could warm the deer, so one of the hunters quickly drove back an SUV with a sled attached to it. They placed the frozen deer on the sled, held it with ropes, and drove to their shelter, where they thought the deer would find warmth. After reaching the shelter, they placed the deer on the floor and began rubbing its body. When continuous rubbing did not help, one of the men fed the deer a lump of lard and a little vodka, an age-old cure for cold. A lump of lard and a little vodka can go a long way. At least that's what helped this red deer recover from the bitter cold, as it sat up holding its head high, probably thanking its rescuers for their courage and determination. When the deer was healthy enough to leave, it quickly left the shelter and happily disappeared into the woods. The hunters who rescued the deer were working for the government as volunteers and vets. Naturally, it was in safe hands. Hopefully, it won't get into trouble anytime soon.